Oh, it's been terrific marketing for us because one of the challenges we've had in the U.S. and Europe, Australia is foreign brands don't fully understand the size of the Chinese consumer market or the size of China e-commerce. So it's a lengthy educational experience, Sri. Jack Ma and the Alibaba IPO broke right through that. And I think there's broad understanding now in the U.S. and elsewhere about how big that China e-commerce market is.
Interesting. So what does all this mean for American retailers? Will Alibaba act as a springboard into China, or is it still a closed shop, pardon the pun, where IP infringement still remains a risk?
No, I think what's happening is it's a trend, and it's moving into that first category where what we can tell when we talk with companies is the two biggest business trends in the world today are the rise of the Chinese consumer and the rise of e-commerce. And Alibaba sits in the middle of both of those trends. And sooner or later, any serious consumer brand needs a China strategy. And the best way to develop a China strategy is through that e-commerce channel.
I'm interested to know, Frank, how Alibaba is different from many of the other e-commerce platforms that you use, because Export now not only uses Tmall, but you use some other platforms. What makes Alibaba stand out?
No, look, and I think there are many platforms in China, and each of them have comparative strengths. Alibaba platform, Tmall's strength is really just the size and the market share. JD has a lot of strengths in the white goods sector, right? Where the washing machines, the big screen TVs, they tend to do well there. Yihaodian tends to do very well in food and everyday consumables like razors. Dangdang does well in books, records, cultural products, so forth. So there are different platforms, there are different verticals, and everybody's got their strength. Tmall's great strength is just the massive size and massive market share.
I mean, obviously coming from the US and having great experience in terms of trade and US, just generally what do US customers like. Alibaba now looking to launch in the US, they've built 11 main. Do you think that they'll be able to replicate what they've done in China and the US to any degree?
Yeah, that's a great question. Now, I don't work for Alibaba. I don't speak for Alibaba, right? So this is my personal conjecture to say my view is Amazon has somewhat a dominant position in the U.S. market equivalent to what Alibaba and Tmall has in China. So my advice to friends at Alibaba would be don't try a frontal assault. They're already the dominant platform. But look at gaps and niche areas where you can build around that, and you can certainly get market share on a step-by-step basis by finding parts of the market that Amazon isn't currently covering.
Frank, you heard Jack Ma there in that piece of sound that we played earlier play down that perception that perhaps he and the company is too close to Beijing. Do you believe that?
Yeah, I do. I tell you, I think it's a heck of a story. Whatever you think about Alibaba, what they've built and what Jack Ma personally is a heck of a story, and I think Americans respect that story. The guy started with nothing. The guy did not come from family money or family connections, and he had a quite impoverished, he wasn't dirt poor, but he had quite a modest background and had to build this thing step by step, brick by brick. And then he took on the majors. He beat eBay in China. He beat Amazon in China. So it is an impressive story of being agile, being nimble, adapting, being creative, and having that burning intensity for success. So congratulations, Jack.